Bismillah Rahman Rahim, Rahmat Alam by Sayyid Suleiman Nadwi, Muhammad, peace be upon him, mercy for the universe. Translated by Ear of Luther, Chapter 35, Conquest of Makkah, Part 1. The Makkah was conquered in Ramadan 8th AH. The very first obligation of the Muslims was to throw off the idols from the house of God, which had been built by Hazrat Abraham. It was the first mosque constructed by him and the Qibla of the Muslims. It was the center of faith, so it needed to be purified from all impurities. Whatever had happened till then, the blood was spilled. It was only to seize the city of Makkah. That was not possible unless the swords of the infidels were broken. Now the heads of the Makkans had been lowered. The time did come when the Kaaba had to be purified of all idols. In view of the Hudaybiyah Treaty, the Muslims could not attack Makkah, but it so happened that the Makkans themselves gave a chance to the Muslims. Some of the tribes had sided the Makkans and some of them were supporting the Muslims. The tribe of Khaza was in support of the Muslims and their enemies Banu Bakr were helping the Quraysh. According to the treaty, any party of the Quraysh could not attack the associated tribes of Muslims, and if that was done, it was a breach of agreement. Khaza and Banu Bakr had been at war against each other for a considerable long time, so they had become the enemies of Islam. They remained united, but as soon as the Hudaybiyah Treaty was signed, the Banu Bakr thought of opportune time when they could take their revenge, and so they, finding a chance, attacked on the Khaza. The Quraysh warriors who took part in it had disguised themselves as Banu Bakr. The Khaza took shelter in the Haram, but that was not a safe place for them. According to the treaty, the Muslims were to help them. 40 camel riders reached Makkah on their request for help. The Prophet heard their woeful story and was much grieved. He sent a message to the Quraysh and offered them 3 conditions for acceptance any of them. Number 1, blood money be paid for the murdered Khaza man. Number 2, the Quraysh should be kept away from the Banu Bakr. Number 3, the Hudaybiyah Treaty should be declared as annulled. The Quraysh chiefs accepted the third condition. Now the Hudaybiyah Treaty was no more. The Quraysh felt a great regret after the departure of the Muslim envoy. They sent Abu Sufyan to Medina as their envoy to renew the Hudaybiyah Treaty. Reaching the court of the Prophet, he thought of getting the sweet fish of the Quraysh finalized, but he could get no reply from Medina. Then he went to Abu Bakr, who refused to hear him. He tried to contact Hazrat Umar, who too paid no attention to his words. Then he came to Hazrat Ali, who said, "Whatever has been decided by the Prophet, no suggestion is possible for us to advance. You go to the mosque and announce that you restore the Hudaybiyah Treaty." He went there and made the announcement. Abu Sufyan narrated this event to the people, who remarked, "This is neither a peace treaty that we may sit calm, nor is it a war declaration that we may jump into it." The Prophet started preparations for Makkah. He took all precautions that the Makkah may not come to know of it. On the 10th of Ramadan, he, along with 10,000 troops, marched towards Makkah. The Muslims encamped on their way to that city for the night. The Quraysh were quite unaware of it. Abu Sufyan and other Arabian chiefs came out of the city to get information about the Prophet and his army. They were surprised to look at the huge force of the Muslims scattered all over. Hazrat Abbas, the Prophet's uncle, felt much sympathy for the Makkans. He thought if the Makkans seek forgiveness of the Prophet before the Muslim forces entered the city, all their calamities would turn out. He came out of his tent and rode to Makkah on the ride of the Prophet. He had hardly traversed some distance that he came across Abu Sufyan and informed him of the great force of Muslims. The Quraysh could conveniently calculate the consequences. Abu Sufyan sought for his suggestion. He said, "Come along with me." They went to the Prophet. They saw Hazrat Umar on the way, who said, "The chief of the infidels is now in our charge." Then he pounced upon him, but Hazrat Abbas took him safe into the tent of the Prophet. If you like the video, then please like, comment, share and subscribe the channel. Hit the bell icon and click on all. Thank you. Jazakumullahu khairan kathira.